Go to Denmark, they teach in Danish. Go to Norway, they teach in Norwegian. Go to Sweden, they teach in Swedish. Go to Finland, they teach in Finnish. Go to Korea, they teach in Korean. Go to China, they teach in Chinese. Go to Japan, they teach in Japanese. Then they meet the world. But you and me, here I am waxing eloquent in English, not in Kiswahili.
At the end of this video, you will see that Africans don't even value their own. They don't even value their own. I'm not going to say much. Let's continue, please.
We must revamp our curriculum. And we must have the courage to do so. As I speak to you now, they are teaching Yoruba and Twi at universities outside of this continent. Why? Because language is a multi-million dollar, multi-billion CD industry. It is only us who do not know. Those of you who are religiously inclined, we are the only visitors in Jerusalem. So, brothers and sisters, we are here to remind ourselves that there is urgent business to be undertaken. We are here to remind ourselves that we had a good past. We are here to remind ourselves that others came and through slavery they disrupted that past. That they did not stop there. That they came again under colonization. And this time they disrupted us so very thoroughly and took away even the most precious of things, our confidence. That when they came here and imposed an education system. That education system had only one agenda. The agenda was to create men and women, if they were the English who colonized you, who could speak English and be their clerks. If you are colonized by the French, that you could speak French or Portuguese or Italian or Germany. When we regained our independence, we only made cosmetic changes. The time is now to go deep and remove the cosmetics and go to the fundamentals. And I'm suggesting to you that has been done. You know, those of you who are a little older will remember that 30 years ago, China was not famous for much. They were only famous for Chairman Mao, for the Long March. Today, even the toothpicks in your hotels here in Winneba are from China.
Imagine.
Today, you go to the shops, even the inauthentic Kentes are from China. They have franchised, indeed patented Kente. You go home, your television is Chinese or Korean. You are being persuaded to use your phones. I suspect you are either using Samsung or Huawei. What did China do 30 years ago?
What did they do?
They made a decision that we are going to change our education system. And they changed the education system. They engaged in agriculture. They engaged in technology. They engaged in medicine. They engaged in everything. And today China is the second strongest economy in the world, with a GDP of no less than 19 trillion United States dollars.
In just 30 years.
Compare that with little Ghana.
Just 30 years. Africa keeps sleeping.
Compare that with little Sierra Leone. Compare that with little Kenya, with little all these countries. What they did was to change their minds in order to change their future. And that is why when we are building roads, whether it's in Nairobi, Kenya, or in Accra, Ghana, or in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, or in Senegal, or in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, or Bamako in Mali, or Harare in Zimbabwe, or in Zambia, who do we find? Chinese. Because they changed their minds. The time is now for us to change our minds. The academics who are here must agree with me that we have sinned and fallen short of the expectations of our countries. And that the time is now to say that we should be forgiven. And if our generation committed those mortal sins, you up there must not repeat those mistakes.
You must not.
You must not repeat those mistakes. You must use the examples and the experience so that you do not step on the landmines that we stepped on. That is why Chinua Achebe said, where are the young suckers that will grow when the old banana died? These are old bananas. You are the young suckers. So rise up. Africa is not expecting you to engage in a perpetual state of lamentation. No, lamentation will not help you. And I want to remind you that when you are here in Ghana, don't compete with Liberia. You will beat Liberia. Don't compete with Benin. Don't compete with Togo. Don't compete with La Côte d'Ivoire. Don't compete with all these little African dwarfs. Compete with giants. And when Ghana wakes up, this Ghana, you know, sometimes when I think about Ghana, I think about Kwame Nkrumah.
Great man.
And you think about his books, Dark Days in Ghana,
Kwame Nkrumah.
Letters from Conakry. When the Osagyefo is so close yet so far, his ideas dead, his books banned until Ignatius Kutu Acheampong comes. It is only in the year 2013 that Nkosazana and Dlamini Zuma, the then chair of African Commission, writes a letter of apology to Kwame Nkrumah. I urge you to read it.
Right.
He tells Kwame, you are right. Everybody was wrong. When you said we must unite and change our education system in order to compete. That is Nkosazana and Dlamini Zuma. Today, the Osagyefo is here telling us, let us change. He said it in 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. He said it in 1964 in Cairo, Egypt. He said it in 1965 in Accra, Ghana. And on 6th day of March 1997, on the occasion of the celebration of 40 years of independence of Ghana, Kambarage Nyerere himself also apologized to Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. He said, you are right. We were wrong.
Exactly.
Today I'm saying that we cannot remain imprisoned in history and lamentation. That is why it is still true for you Ghanaians. Nkrumah is dead, but Nkrumah never dies.
Never dies. Never dies. Spirit lives on.
And the reason why he never dies is that his ideas are evergreen.
Evergreen.
Who among you here is courageous enough to stand up and contradict me when I say what we are saying here was said by Kwame Nkrumah in 1955? Who among you?
Can you imagine?
Who among you here is courageous enough to tell me that Nkrumah did not think about education of a different kind when he was instituting the University at Legon? Who amongst us?
Nobody.
That he was right when he established the Kwame Nkrumah University in Kumasi. That he was right when he instituted the institute out of which grew the University of Education at Winneba. Who amongst you can contradict me? So if he was right, he did not have the advantage of the technology that you have? No. There was no WhatsApp, there was no Twitter or X, there was no Instagram, there was only Telegraph. But he was able to marshal the entire black community throughout the world and give meaning to education. What can you and me not do if we mean to do it?
What?
So you young men who are present here, don't tell me Nkrumah was old. Nkrumah was just slightly older than you. If you look at his cabinet, some of them were in their 20s. It is not formal education that maketh a man or a woman.
Not at all.
The great Indian sage Raja Gopalachari says, education is not merely attending institutions and acquiring certificates. He says, you may have gone to school, but has school gone through you?
Has school gone through you?
This is the question. So ladies and gentlemen, here today, we are here to tell ourselves ad nauseum that the mother continent can change, and she will change. She will change. And when I look at the future and I hold all factors constant, I see an Africa whose young men and women are educated and their education is about innovation and invention. I see such an Africa. I see an Africa whose sons and daughters will be leaders in cryptocurrency. I see that Africa. I see an Africa where all the cars running from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia to Banjul in the Gambia will either be made in Togo, Burkina Faso, or Uganda. I see that Africa. I see an Africa where the Ghanaian doctors who are running hospitals in the United States and in the United Kingdom will have the courage to come back home because there is something called a hospital where they can do their trade. I see such an Africa. I see an Africa where we will have our own satellites that are launched next to Elmina Castle, and they'll go out there in the orbit, and we shall not be depending on Vodafone. I see such an Africa. I see an Africa where we will be able to produce enough rice, enough cocoa, and enough gold, and we will process it here, and that you will be selling it to Nairobi, Kenya, Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and it will not be necessary to look to the outside world. I see such an Africa. I see an Africa where, apart from Kiswahili, one of the languages that will be spoken will be Twi or Ebe or Ga. I see such an Africa. That Africa is possible.
One Africa, the time is now. We are not young, the youths. I'm talking to the youths. We are not too young. These great men that he made mention of here, they were in their 20s. They were in their 20s. They were not that old. Their committees were in their 20s, yet they were taking Africa to the next level. They were bringing Africa, they were projecting Africa to the world. They made the world understand that Africa don't even need them. Imagine what Kwame Nkrumah said more than 60 years ago is still happening till today. And you think anything has changed? You think neocolonialism is not there? Neocolonialism started more than 50 years ago, after the independence, and things has not changed till now, and you're saying the time is not now. Things has fallen apart. Things has fallen apart, and it is only in unity that we can project Africa. It is only in unity that Africa can progress. Pan-Africa is what we are preaching. If you're an African, you're supposed to think with your head. We are taking this continent to the next level, and if you're not in for that, we are leaving you behind. Continue liking and sharing this video so that other Africans can come across it and learn